Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 5 most carried knives over the last couple of months or so. A few things have changed, a couple of things have not changed. Can't wait to share it with you guys. Anything that is available, I will link down in the description. I'm not going to promise you. These are my personal knives, what I've personally been carrying, right? So you can check out those links if you want to. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me, and please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. The first knife, one that is certain to get more pocket time, but I've only had it for a little bit, which is why it's in the number 5 spot. This is not a knife that is... I don't think it's available yet. It might be on like the manufacturer side. I'll still link it down in the description. But it's a variant of a knife that I have praised in the past. This is the new CGRB Pyrite button lock with the reverse tanto blade shape. Or you can call it Warncliffe, or you can call it sheep's foot, or whatever. I don't care. Call it whatever you want. My God, is this wonderful. It's everything that I like about the original Pyrite, except it has the little opening hole, which makes it beautifully simple to forward or reverse flick. And then I like the blade shape better. I like being able to get my finger up here and do draw cuts and things. This, when it does come out and it becomes available in not only stainless steel, which is what it's in now, but, you know, G10 and micarta and blah, blah, blah. I'm sure they'll make a titanium and S35VN version of it and polish it or whatever, right? Certain to be a favorite amongst many people. This is very, very good, and it is less than $50, or at least that's the plan for the price. You can still right now get the standard one, which I also recommend. I think that these are some of the best budget knives on earth. And lefties, even though the button is on the right-hand side, you can still very easily manipulate this with your index finger. It's wonderful. They have milled the clip for both righties and lefties. I think that's just magnificent. This truly, you know, as somebody who regularly carries knives that cost multiple hundreds or over $1,000, I do like the inexpensive stuff sometimes. If the design is good, I'm going to carry it, right? So I don't have my nose that far in the air. I really like the new CGRB Pyrite in reverse tanto. I think this thing is amazing. Moving on here, one that I carry just because I like it and not because it is convenient. This is the Sniper Blade Works DMF. They recently gifted me this knife, and I wanted to carry it not only because I like big, crazy, overbuilt knives, but also because I find the ergonomics to be absolutely fantastic. This is a wild-looking aesthetic, but it is absolutely shaped for the human hand. It really does work, and that's kind of the joy that I get. I haven't used it too much. I've just really, you know, kind of just been carrying it and just enjoying having it in my pocket. It's always a fun conversation piece. Anybody who is into pocket knives, you know, half the fun sometimes is running into another knife guy and talking about what they're carrying, blah, blah, blah. This one always gets, you know, a double take and a, hey, can I see that for a second, right? It is unbelievably smooth considering how huge and chunky it is. We have titanium on one side and then G10 on the other, but it is a thick boy. And let me tell you, this big chunk of S35VN, it really is nice to cut with. I mean, even though it is fairly thick behind the edge, it's sharpened very well, and it really is just a fun object. It's heavy, it's chunky, right? These are also very expensive. I think they start at like $400. But definitely one that I have been enjoying carrying a little bit. I'm not sure if that one's going to continue to make it into the pocket or not, but I have been enjoying it so far. Next on the list, one that I pulled back out, I'm going to share with you guys the one that recently came in. A while back actually received my Knoll Raiden. This is the one that's been in my pocket here lately, and just the other day I received the other one that I ordered, which was the black and bronze version. So it's kind of nice to have a version that I can kind of keep safe and nice. That's the one, the black and bronze one is the one that I'm kind of keeping in the case. This is the one that's been making it into my pocket. Maybe you guys remember my review of this. I thought that this was one of the best knives of the year that it came out, and I'm very happy to have it. The thing with this one is all of the really nice, subtle little areas that complement, like the index finger to thumb complementary position. It's just nice. I keep wanting to, there's something on my camera and I keep wanting to like wipe it off the table and I realize it's on the screen. But Also, it's the polish on the blade. These are manufactured by Riyadh. Again, this is Knoll knives. I don't know if these are still available for pre-order or not. I'm sure that Knoll knives will continue to do cool things, but this is just an awesome design, and it's a nice compact EDC knife with premium materials, right? So when I'm looking to throw something in my pocket that is not, you know, as massive as the DMF, this guy makes a lot more sense. The blade is good, the handle profile is good, the ergonomics are good. Love the backspacer, love the pocket clip. M390 on a little kind of a long harpoon blade. This is just a very handsome sort of kind of low profile. Like it's not super over the top initially, right? But the details are there for anybody who wants to look. I'm also a big fan of the thumb studs, both for the forward flick and the reverse flick. This one has just been an absolute joy to carry around in my pocket and to show off a bit too. Moving on here. Two knives you have seen before. I cannot believe how much I enjoy this. It's crazy. I just never saw myself enjoying a knife like this, but I love this knife. This is the Serge Pinchenko Production Slip Joint Razor. I love this thing. This is my go-to package opener. A lot of people are like, oh, he's just now discovering the utility razors are good for... No, I get that. I think like a 2-year-old could look at a razor and go, that's probably good for getting into packages. I get that. The reason that I don't generally carry utility knives like Husky or Milwaukee is because they are effing boring. Right? If you're watching my content right now, at least some part of your subconscious agrees with me. So don't give me that. Those knives are super boring. I don't care how utilitarian or economic they are. They are boring. This is the same thing, but it costs more money and is way more interesting. I am so happy that I spent more money on this than I would have spent on a Milwaukee Fastback. I find this infinitely more satisfying to carry and infinitely more interesting. My soul is fulfilled. It is so full with happiness over my choice to not buy a Milwaukee Fastback. Have I beat this point into the ground? Please don't tell me about how much of a better choice I could have made with a utility knife from Home Depot. Please, I don't care. This is way more fun. It's so cool. And I also like that it's mega compact. I mean, honestly, I haven't changed the razor blade that it came with yet, but it also came with a ton of them. I really like how it looks. I really like how it functions. I've gotten used to manipulating it with one hand, and I just love how compact it is. I also like that it's titanium and just has a super cool, almost kind of steampunk look to it. It's just nice. It works so well. It's got a little bit of a choke up spot, but you know, getting this thing out and opening up packages with it, it is not just satisfying because it is a razor blade tearing into packaging. It's satisfying because of what the object I'm using to do that is. It's fun to use this, right? Let me get out this thing. This, to me, this will do the exact same thing. But this isn't fun. This is lame and boring. I don't like it. The only reason that I've got this is to use it as an example. This is cool, right? And some people scoff at people like me who spend more money on things like this that literally do the exact same thing. That's fine. I love this. I think this is infinitely cooler. It is so fun. Every time I get this out to open up a package or just make a simple cut, I'm just filled with an insane amount of joy. It's crazy to me how much this makes it into my pocket. I am a huge fan of this. I think that these guys run 150, 100 or 150, something like that. I would absolutely buy it again. If this was gone tomorrow, if I lost this tomorrow, I would buy another one in a heartbeat. No questions asked. I absolutely love the Serge Pinchenko slip joint razor. 100%. And finally, the #1 most carried knife over the last couple of months by a landslide. Oh, man. The Riyadh EXO, is it the M? The one with the law? I can't remember what they call it. This, I love this, right? I know a lot of people, you know, are questioning, like, how convenient could it possibly be? How reliable could the lock possibly be? I love this. This has been absolutely beautiful. And, you know, I don't know that it's really going to show a whole lot of wear. Maybe a little bit more on this side, right? But This thing has just been excellent. It has been so fun to use. It's been a conversation piece, an item of convenience, an item of surprising durability. That lockup has been great, right? A lot of people are, oh, it's rattly, it's rattly. Yeah, if you do this, which is the same thing that happens when you take a, you know, a Guardian Tactical or any high-end OTF, it does the exact same thing. When you squeeze this, it doesn't rattle, right? Which is what you're going to be doing while you're using it. Same thing in the closed position. It's not going to rattle, right? It's only when you do that kind of, so don't, that's silly. This knife has been really spectacular. It's not just a novelty kind of, oh yeah, okay, it just slides out. This is an OTF where you don't have to worry about a misfire. It's relying on gravity. It would take an enormous amount of debris to get into this sort of chassis rail system to get the blade to not slide into the open position. And even if that is the case, the fact that this can open up means that maintenance here does not require you to take the thing apart. There's almost no reason to ever take this apart. Blowing this thing out and getting it good, I mean, literally nothing I have done with it has caused a need for maintenance at all, right? I don't think it'll ever need maintenance. Maybe this will need tightening at some point, but honestly, this is just, I gotta admit, I kind of like this better than the double action auto OTFs. There's no spring to fail. There's nothing to I mean, even if it does fail, it's way less in terms of maintenance. And I've got a double-edged dagger, right? What is this? This 3V? Yeah, fantastic. Titanium, micarta. This has been a truly excellent EDC knife, right? And a lot of people, you know, when they came out, I think there's a lot of new people who didn't know who Riyadh, they're not familiar with Riyadh. They looked at the price and they're like, $285 for a knife. Listen, for the rest of us who've been used to seeing what Riyadhs are normally priced at, we were relieved, overjoyed to find that this was only $280. $280, if you're not familiar with Riyadh, is an excellent price for what you're getting. Not just in terms of materials, in terms of material execution, fit and finish, machine quality, heat treatment, all of that, right? Those are things that you should be concerned with paying for. Not just the materials themselves, but you should be concerned with how those materials come to be a knife. Generally speaking, Riyadh is so much better than their competition that their knives, I mean, they cost more money, and it's justified for a lot of people who are familiar with this territory. Riyadh's quality is that much better than a lot of their competition. So this guy coming in at only $280, $285, whatever it was, happy to pay that. Again, it's a lot like the Serge. If I lost this tomorrow, I would immediately buy another one. I mean, it might be kind of difficult. I don't think they're super easy to find at the moment, but I would immediately buy another one. I love this. I can see this thing being a part of my rotation for a very long time. I absolutely recommend it. So once again, we have the Riyadh EXO-M in number 1, the Serge Pinchenko production slip joint razor. We have the Knoll Raiden, which I'm very happy to have consistently in the pocket now. We have the Sniper Bladeworks DMF, which is, I don't know if it'll be a consistent part of the rotation, but it's been really fun to carry. It's just a big beast. And then finally, the budget champion right now, the absolute budget champion. I didn't mention it's AR RPM 9 steel, which is a powder form version. It's kind of like a powder form 9CR 18 MOV. The CGRB Pyrite in reverse Tanto. Like I said, I will be linking everything that I can write down in the description. That's going to be pretty much it today, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.